and I cannot wait. Steadfast, introduce our first player.
Absolutely spawning up in the top left. Representing Clash, it is the Italian world champion. Give it up for the Red Zerg Reynor.
And his opponent in the bottom right, representing Team Liquid, the legendary Dutch Terran player. And no, I am not talking about DJ. It is uThermal. I am talking about DJ, really.
Is DJ, is that Optimus?
No, the Optimus is Optimus. That's Vince. DJ is... Okay, DJ is like the hidden gem of StarCraft. As we do have uThermal doing...
X?
Yes, DJ
yes.
or X. Just an absolute legend. Oh my god, Reynor's going to scout this. Oh my god, he's going to scout this.
Oh, poor uThermal. Oh no.
And
you know what? I hardly ever see Proxy 2 racks and 3 racks fail in tournaments. I feel like this build wins all the time, except now
And the problem is, uThermal does not know it's been scouted. These buildings have a very, very limited vision when they are being scouted. We are going to see a big, big drone pull very, very early here from Reynor to make sure this does not go up. But it is going to finish, actually. The second one may not. One definitely will here. And now we're going to see the first Marine already on its way. And if it can pop out in a safe spot, this could be nice. That SCV's in a good spot, too. These are both going to finish, actually, Steadfast. And this is pretty good for uThermal, no?
Yeah, that's actually really, really rough. This is 7 drones off the line. The mining time lost from going for this is really bad. Oh, and the Marine gets into a safe zone. There is a perfect little cup right there. This is cute, actually, from Reynor, because uThermal cannot see through the bushes. Oh, this is... And like, Reynor can see when the barracks gets lifted. This is actually really, really neat. The only thing about this is that... Oh, he is going to try and take the fight. Ooh. Will lose 1 drone. There's been so much lost mining time, though.
Yeah, I mean, behind this, Lings are on the way. The first Queen is on the way, but it's not that many Lings. Oh, no, it's going to be 10. That's a pretty decent amount. And I guess there's no bunkers up. That's pretty big here. So uThermal has a good chunk of Marines, but he's not been able to get any of his bunkers up. It's now going to go up. This is like 30, 40 seconds later than what was really wishful from this. It's going to be a little bit difficult for uThermal to make this happen. Behind this, though, he's already adding on his factory. He's already teching at home. He has no desire to straight up kill his opponent here. And I'm not sure, when all is said and done, how this ends up. Because Reynor did pull for an exceptionally large amount of time. Of course, uThermal's tech is going to be slower. He's not going to have add-ons for, like, ever. Starting to spend the gas will be difficult. He's going to start a CC on the high ground. Steadfast, break it down. How did this go?
I honestly think that this was actually very okay for uThermal. And I think he made the wise decision of lifting off these barracks reasonably early, only committing to, what, seven Marines? Yeah, he didn't lose anything. 7 Marines. Because it was so much lost mining time, he'll get these barracks home. His command center, yeah, it is delayed, but he's going to be able to still get that up and rolling. He's going to have this reactor being built on the factory. It also is important to note, because of all that lost mining time, Reynor delayed his second Queen, so he didn't get that out as quickly as he could have. I honestly think that uThermal is, if not ahead, at the very least, totally okay with how that went.
Yeah.
But he was looking to get very ahead with that. That is something that's important to know. A Widow Mine. What do you make of this? Yeah,
so I think this is going to be just a bunch of Marines and a Widow Mine dropped into behind the natural, I imagine, because we also have that extraordinarily fast add-onless starport, making that one medevac. So that'll be heading out very quickly in the Widow Mine, especially if there's not much out. It offers so much zoning potential in small numbers. This is where it's best, and this is kind of a cool variation on that sort of 2-1-1 opening where you do go for a big Marine drop early on, going a little bit quicker. Now, if this Overlord sees this, Reynor will be able to prepare. He'll probably be aware of the fact that there's going to be a bunch of Marines. He doesn't have speed, though. That's really late on speed. The Overlord will see this. That's a big read here for Reynor. uThermal, knowing he's been scouted, is going to thrust in, bad choice of words there, Grant, and just commit to this.
Yeah, and the lack of link speed, this is going to cause problems for a while. Oh, I love the burrow, unburrow, micro coming in right there. Oh, uThermal with the hot pickup on this Marine, only losing 1 and getting quite a few lings, and he can get this Overlord. Now we can go back and kill this Overlord from before.
Yeah.
This is actually pretty decent on the drop. Yeah, 6 lings.
And the natural. Hellions and the Natural at the same time. They're finding a big old drone barbecue here. Going to be a good amount of damage. 5 workers going down already. These Hellions will go down, but the drop in the third as well is starting to poke and prod away at that and soften it up. This Overlord could end up being vulnerable. uThermal trying to keep his Hellions alive as strong as possible. This base will survive, but it's a lot of damage that needs to be kept accounted for later on in the game. And behind this, uThermal's getting his fair CC. He's getting stim. This drop is not even completely over yet, as there are still 6 Marines. And okay, no, I think it is completely over. One Queen moves too far out though, that could get punished. And uThermal's making this kind of wonky.
Yeah, no, and I think that's one of his best scenarios, one of his best chances where he can kind of take advantage of his great micro. By the way, you talk about this 2-1-1, it is going to be a follow-up of a 2-1-1, so this is actually going to be quite a few Marines, and because he kept all but one of these Marines alive, it really adds to this drop. He's actually up a fair bit of army supply right now, and Reynor does not realize that this drop is coming. Now, this creep spread is insane right here. Already, uThermal get on and try and take some of it out, but this is going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah, this is a lot of Marines. One Queen will fall, the second will follow pretty immediately. Baneling's trying to get on top. uThermal's always been known for his target fire. uThermal has so much here, and there's just no Banelings. There's barely any Lings. Drones coming off the line. They will melt. This is a lot of Marines here, Steadfast. Banelings don't get the connections. That was critical here for Reynor.
That one Baneling literally saved the game for Reynor. That Baneling, like, if that does not pop, and it was about to be targeted down, we're talking about seconds. The game is 100% over. Absolutely. There was not enough Lings coming out. Reynor didn't have any injects, so he didn't have the larva that he needed. Oh my god, that was actually okay. Never mind, that's a lot of things. But still, there was just I think there was too many Marines with the medevacs.
Yeah, they would have just picked up and got into the main. They would have. I mean, even if the game wasn't over, uThermal would have killed probably 5 or 6 more drones over on the third. He'd have put himself into a very strong spot. Now, the third has been taken for uThermal. He's adding on his extra racks. He's getting his combat shields. That's completed his 1-1. Much quicker than Reynor, who only is now getting an Evo chamber. uThermal's doing a great job of defending against the Ling pressure, which is something that will never stop here from our Zerg player. We can see here that the starport not doing a huge amount right now. There's how many medevacs are out? 3. Has he got an add-on the starport yet?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
I was going to say, that'd be weird if he didn't. Yeah.
I think he got it really, really late. So, anyway, uThermal is still in a good spot. Taking a look at the supply, he's doing good. He has his third up completely unharassed. And the main thing is Reynor's work account isn't where Reynor wants it to be. He wants it to be much closer to 70 at this point. Pickup should come in here. Going to save almost all of those Marines and get out the dock. There's a lot of units on the field right now for Reynor. But uThermal has a good amount of Widow Mines already. And if he holds on to this position, I think it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, absolutely. The Widow Mines are a big power spike here, especially against this heavy Ling Bane composition. And you mentioned it earlier, the upgrades. It's actually a massive lead for uThermal. His armory, a little bit late, but it is still reasonably well-timed.
Yeah.
1-1 for Reynor, so far away. And we do see this first drop. It is starting to come across the map. Now, something really important to note is that Reynor's creep spread, despite being scanned and denied twice, has been so insanely good. We're going to see this attack starting to come in on at the top side, and it has so much creep to go through.
Yeah, and because the creep is so spread as well, it's quite difficult to deal with. One Widow Mine going off, there are a couple in the back, but actually they're a little bit too far away, and that's going to force this pickup here from uThermal. He's going to lose a mine or two. Constant drops here from uThermal, trying to really push Reynor to his limits here, but if anyone can keep up and exceed in these conditions, it is Reynor. uThermal, though, he's finding more damage. He's going to win up here behind the Natural. Will be forced to pick up. No, he targets down the Banelings, actually. Oh, one gets a good connection, but the upgrades kicked in, which means the Marines now stand strong. They're going to get even more kills here.
Yeah, and they're just in such a nasty position. He will eventually get forced up into those medevacs, but this was such a good fight out of uThermal. A really great trade. Looking at the battle report, you can see that he has killed quite a bit more of his opponent's stuff. And he's got drilling claws now on the way. He's got a second factory, 4th command center on the way. He's got his 2-2. This is looking really good for Mark.
Yeah, I mean, this is certainly what he's been looking for. Now, he still needs a good Widow Mine here. Oh, retargeting. Very, very cute here from uThermal. Making sure they're not wasted on single lings, as Reynor will be using his multitasking to try and make that happen. Now, Reynor's creep is good down the south side, but actually everywhere else, it's kind of basic. He's got this one area, which will allow for run-bys, but he doesn't have anything down to the southeast here. Southwest here. And if uThermal sees the space being taken, he might try and punish it. There is a bunch of Marines and lings here, but the drops are just relentless. They are not non-stop. There's a 4 coming out for uThermal. I'm not quite sure why.
He has to think this is mutas, but
yeah.
I mean it's not. He will see now that there's no gas taken in this main. That actually, in a perfect world, would cause him to stop building that fort. There we go. Finally, we're seeing uThermal knock back this creep once again, and I think Reynor is going to have a tough time respreading that because he is really getting tacked heavily by uThermal. Oh, a lot of Baneling's going to get picked off here, and he saves all the Marines. Does take splash damage on a few of them, but doesn't actually lose any, which is amazing.
Yeah, and the medivacs have plenty of energy too, so this isn't too bad. Now we see a push coming down to the southwest here. I do think this base is going to be cancelled. There's just too many Marines here. Baneling's not able to get in on time. uThermal is... This is what we wanted. Like, this is how we wanted him to show up in this series. Now, unfortunately,
100%.
the 4 did complete. I mean, it does offer a nice buffer. It's a lot of supply, though, that will not be fighting any Mutalisks, where they are so strong. But uThermal's managed to secure a 5th command center, a 4th command center down in the south, and it is a planetary. It's very, very accessible to Baneling run-by still. But now 2-2 is finished for uThermal. I think we're probably going to see another relatively large amount of time of committed violence from uThermal.
That's a good way of putting it. He's got 3. Well, he has the money now for 3-3. We'll start that up. It is really important to note, Reynor forgot his +1 melee because of the insane pressure that uThermal has been putting on. And this is like the forced versus unforced errors. These are forced errors right now. Ooh, we do have Widow Mines burrowing on the top side. Oh, last second split saving a lot of lings right there. Yeah. But this is still very dangerous. And that's a 2-base cancel at once out of uThermal. He's on fire right now.
And not only that, he's constantly pushing the creep back. It's really being contained extraordinarily well. Now, this is going to be a stand and fight here for uThermal. He's actually going to sacrifice the 4 in the end. I don't think that's a bad decision by any means, because it is kind of wasted supply. uThermal moving into Liberators, which is what you want to be doing against Mass Ling Bane. And wow, he's actually going into Lurkers here very late. So, I mean, uThermal he's going for the right composition, getting a bunch of Liberators out. He needs to make sure he doesn't take a big Baneling hit. This game could still swing in just a heartbeat, but both players just microing the little hearts out. The macro as well, obviously, fantastic. This is top tier European StarCraft.
Yes, you mentioned it before. This is what we look for from uThermal. Little engagement right here. Wisely, Reynor does back away, but he loses a lot of lings for free. Yeah, there was 20 Banelings that just went, or 20 lings that just went down because he couldn't take the fight with 4 Widow Mines under those Marines. Wise decision, but an expensive one.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, upgrades are starting to kick in here for Reynor. He is getting to the point of late game where he's very, very strong, or later in the game. Once he can get Lurkers out with those Groove Spines and the other upgrade, which is escaping me right now, he's going to be in a good spot. Once again, Widow Mine's getting blown up, but they're trading pretty well, I think.
So much.
Oh my god, it killed 7 Banelings, 25 lings throughout the last few moments. Battle report, thank you, nice username, thank you. The creepers once again being pushed back. We do have a big push straight through the middle here, straight to the heart of uThermal. But uThermal's got plenty to deal with this. Oh, those Widow Mines doing so much.
Oh my god, the cost efficiency from uThermal is insane. And in the main base, the drop comes in. There are some Banelings coming in here, but there's a couple Widow Mines as well. It's still going to get mostly cleaned up, but this is so good. I am so impressed with uThermal right now.
Yeah, he is playing so quickly. And now uThermal going to get even more drones. He is only a very nice number himself, not yet broken the 70s. But all these Widow Mines still in the main offer a lot of threat. Reynor finally cleaning up that drop. But uThermal now pushing through with Liberators towards this 3rd base. He's going to get on top of these Lurkers. He stims, he splits. He's going to try and take them out, but I don't think it's going to work out.
No, that was a little bit of an over-ambitious move, and he stays on creep a little bit too long, does end up having to take that fight, and that just took a lot of the wind out of his sails. That being said, I think 13 more drones just go down to the Widow Mines?
In the main, yeah, I think so, yeah.
Oh,
I think there was a couple brutal. At the 3rd or the 4th, or the 4th or the 5th as well, but mainly, yeah, it was in the main again. So uThermal now continuing to add on a bunch of Marines and Marauders. His Liberator count is at 3. He's not adding on any more right now, instead opting to go into tanks at this point. We do already... Oh, that's a big transfer that's getting caught, though. We do already see a bunch of lurkers in the field, with more coming in. There's 11, soon to be 12. And I've always felt Reynor is strongest when he has these huge, huge armies. And I'm a little bit scared for uThermal the longer this goes.
Yeah, this is a little bit scary. Oh, and we're going to see some big lurker spines. But of course, the ranged liberators are going to help a lot. Now, lurkers are sieging that base on the bottom side, but right now it's just a couple of them. Oh, that's a big lurker shot.
Yeah, these lurkers, basically the siege tanks of the Zerg doing so much, but not as much as the Baneling ring run by down here at the south. And just like that, Reynor gets in a position where he's comfortable, and he takes this game by the scruff of the neck. Now, uThermal is still up in army supply. He has killed this base, and he will most likely stabilize down towards the south as long as he gets some reinforcements out. Liberator as well will be able to get some pot shots, does add a lot defensively here, but uThermal doesn't have many bases now. He's not mining at this point. Taking a look at his income, 300 minerals to 2,500 a minute. So this is now all in for uThermal. He has to make this army work. He has free. He has the tools. He just needs to catch Reynor. He needs a pick here.
Yeah, this was so brutal. uThermal was in such a commanding position, but Reynor is so tenacious. That counterattack found so much. Now we're going to see a big break coming in. Liberators, and, well, they're going to unsiege and retreat, but the tanks getting blinding clouded and completely shut down. Oh, the Liberators are actually going to re-siege. That's not the play. No. He needs those to try and hold on at home. Yeah, or make one last push happen.
Yeah, I think we are going to see a final hurrah here. One more time over the top for uThermal's bio army. He now moves forward. Reynor doesn't have great creep, but he's still able to move from the top to the bottom of the map, but things like this up here takes a long time to happen. And now we get into a kind of weird base race where there are actually very few lurkers with this army. This base will fall down without a shadow of a doubt here. uThermal managing to save a lot of his SCVs. He still has this base, as Steadfast points out, and he's going to be able to most likely trade bases here, but the Banelings, they're thinking about it, Steadfast. They want to move in here. uThermal has a pretty decent pre-split. He's going to take this base down, and Liberator's zoning here. Of course, the Vipers are able to pull those Liberators out of that and reposition them for kills. The game, though, is certainly looking to be in Reynor's favor. He just has so much.
Yeah, he's done such a great job of shutting down uThermal's economy. Oh, that's another command center going down. Oh, Reynor has killed so many command centers in the last little bit, and now we're going to be seeing a big fight coming on in. Lurkers from the back. The whole Zerg swarm just rushes over uThermal and obliterates him from the map. Reynor takes an insane game number 1.
I cannot believe how well uThermal played. I mean, honestly, if I've said this a couple of times throughout this event, if you blindfold me or if you take the nameplates off and make me guess he was playing, I'd have gone Reynor, without a shadow of a doubt, and I'd have said Clem. That's how uThermal played. He played so good, multi-prong aggression, non-stop, all over his opponent. And now we move on to Oxide. Now, you did say, very, very good map for Zerg. Our first map on Lightshade. Here on Oxide, what are you thinking?
Good map for Terran. Good map for Terran.
That's nice.
It is... Sorry?
That's good.
Oxide, yeah. Yeah, it's... sorry, Lightshade. Yeah, Lightshade, good map for Zerg. Definitely. Yeah. Sorry, Oxide is a good map for Terran. Yeah, no, it's... So I talked about the counterattacks in the series versus COS on Lightshade specifically, and just like in this game, or just like in that series, this game was very similar. And funnily enough, we also saw Oxide versus COS. COS went for like a very weird landed Viking Hellbat push, which was very funny. I don't think we're gonna see that. But yeah, I don't know. This is very cool. If uThermal had played like that on Oxide, I think he probably would have won the game. Yeah, just because he was playing so well in that early game, God, and so I don't think Reynor would have had the time to send it to the late game on a shorter, maybe a little bit more positionally favorable map like Oxide.
No, I completely agree with you, Steadfast. And of course, now we will Be moving on to map 2, and that is going to be Oxide, as we said. Both players are ready. I want to screenshot this lobby. I don't know if I have time, though. And I will tweet it out. You can find it at Grant SC2, as everyone in this lobby currently has a Reynor profile picture. There's like 10 of us as well. Let's not just, you know, the casters and us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of us with Reynor profile pictures. Pretty cool to see. And now we move on to map 2. And all I can ask for from this map 2 is that we get a map 3. Because if these guys can play like this for 3 maps in a row, then I will lose my voice, but it's the final day, so it doesn't matter. But more importantly, we're going to be in for a blast of a series.
Oh, yeah. And fun fact, uThermal always willing to poke a little bit of fun at himself. He's currently in the clan Washed.
Yeah.
As in washed up. That's I love that little self-deprecating Dutch humor there.
Yeah. Okay, let's introduce our players, because in the top right, our blue Terran player from the Netherlands, representing Team Liquid, the absolute legend, Mark uThermal Schlappy.
Slappy. And it's such a fun name to say.
It's great.
And his opponent spawning down on the bottom left with the comeback. It is Clash Reynor. That is so impressive. Like, I know that when he was boot camping for IEM Katowice, he was practicing against 2, 3, sometimes 4 pro players at a time. Yeah, at once. Yeah. With the Archon mode feature, and that is the only way that he was able to hold on against the furious multitasking of uThermal. And yes, he took a lot of damage, but he never got like broken. It was always, you know, a 5th base getting denied. At one point, a 5th and a 6th base getting denied. It was, you know, nice chip damage. It was a few drones going down at once, but it was never enough to cripple him. And Reynor just always kept himself in the game. And I'm just so impressed that he was able to make that happen, even though we've seen it time and time again. Yeah,
it never gets old, right? And it's weird to think that game started with a proxy 2-rack steadfast, and we did say when all was said and done, it was probably relatively even. uThermal might have felt pretty good, but I wouldn't say he generated a massive, huge advantage off the back of it. It was a good, solid game. And now it is Q&A time with Grant. It is trivia time with Grant SC2. Steadfast. uThermal Mark Schlappy has a older brother. He has a brother, Ben Schlappy, who is also a pro gamer. But in what title? You'll never guess it in a million years. Oh, it's a pro video gamer.
Oh, okay. Video backgammon.
That is correct. No, he is. Drum roll. He was the Left 4 Dead 2 world champion, Ben Schlappy, my boy. Absolute legend. Reynor going to hide his drone here just in case the Reaper came in first, so we can get that 3rd down safely. And Ben, if you're watching, I love you. Both of the Schlappies are very, very close to my heart. Spent a lot of time with those boys at events, and I love them very, very much. Anyway,
so would you say that the Schlappy boys are happy boys?
They are happy boys. They're great. They're good. uThermal is so good at table football, like just ridiculous, to the point where I was like, you're not that good. And then he beat me like 11-0, and the forfeit was he had to ride me around like a dog at Home Story Cup. Anyway, Overlord Speed coming in for Reynor here. He's going to be making sure to get that scouting information. And we have a very quick 3rd CC from uThermal, who wants to take this once again into a mid-game.
Yeah, and this is about the best build order scenario you can get as the Terran player, because the Zerg commits a lot of resources into that Overlord speed. This is a funny thing that was kind of happening with Serral in like 2019, even like 2018, 2019, where Terran players were like, okay, well, he's scouting me every game, I'm just going to go insanely greedy. And Serral, you know, eventually got tired of doing that because he didn't want to just be a little bit behind, so he kind of started varying up his play. But it happened when Serral was the top, you know? He was top tier, and he was beating everyone. So it's cool to see that Reynor is kind of at that confidence level.
And there we go. There is that big scout onto the 3rd CC. The Speedy Overlord will get out with its life as well. But, I mean, there's no capabilities to punish this. It's going to be very difficult here for Reynor to be able to make anything happen. But this is, this isn't, like, massively unstandard with the 3 racks behind. The free CC, just to
It's
say
actually a little bit. This is a little bit notable. This is a very, very quick third barracks. So I do think we're going to see a little bit more aggression with this, or at least a higher Marine count.
Yeah.
It's not crazy, but it is like I want to get a lot of Marines on the map very, very quickly.
Wait. Goblin 2-0 Denver? Oh, I'm so happy for my boy. Leon, if you're watching, I love you. Congratulations. Yeah, Goblin is a player. I've spoken to him a lot yesterday and today, so congratulations. That's amazing. I'm not biased at all, but congratulations, Goblin. Anyway, back to this. Baneling Nest coming down here. Stim about to finish off. We're going to see probably a 16 Marine tree, maybe? I don't know. With some Hellions, but the starport is very late, so maybe not. Maybe it'll just be a straight push out. Reynor, though, is going to be able to do what he likes to do, and that is hold down that D key and spread a bunch of creep. Focus purely on his macro cycles and just power ahead up towards 70 drones, which we should be seeing without before too long. The Overlord going to come in once again with his wiggly, silly legs, and this time I imagine it will get a very good read. It does see the double eBays, but I think it dies here, right? Look how silly it is. Why has it got claws?
Look at you with your silly little legs there. What are you even doing?
You're ridiculous. Oh, you ladder goat. That's an old reference. Okay, 1-1, halfway done for uThermal. Evo Chambers only now coming down for Reynor. So uThermal, he's played like omega greedy. Obviously, his starport units are late, but I mean, in terms of pure macro here, it has been extreme greed for uThermal. And it seems to be working out. We do see Reynor starting to get a good bunch of units and breaking down those rocks, which are so key. And this is something we've started to see happen more and more in these pro games, where rocks are really emphasized. We said it's more on like Lightshade, I think you said, right? Where they're so important. But even just opening up attack paths is so massive. And now we see a big committed fight going on here, but I think Reynor has too much.
Yeah, he has a little bit too much, and this fight did initiate before those medevacs showed up, which meant that the surround was good for a fair bit of the start of that fight. Yeah, it ended up being almost an even trade, 36 lings for 8 Marines and 4 Hellions, which, to be honest, considering how much uThermal wanted to get a lot of momentum with this push, that's a pretty good fight for Reynor here. And look at this Reynor, he's got a Dropper Lord somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where... Oh, there it goes. He was just making it here. That's a weird place. It's going to be a Baneling drop coming in. And that could find a lot of damage. This Widowmine is going to get a good burrow here. It actually goes off on the Queens, which I don't love. But, of course, Friendly Fire was very, very scary. And now with Banelings coming in, actually, uThermal can stand and fight a little longer. He might get a good chunk of drones here, actually. I didn't think this was going to go as well as it did for him, but uThermal making things happen. And now he's already pre-split. The Banelings do get decent connections, but look at all these dead workers.
This is a lot of damage, and the Banelings actually from the drop coming back home, and that might be enough to allow for some stabilization. uThermal's reinforcements are a little bit of a ways away, and he will just hold Reynor, that is. And 9 SCVs. Oh no, the Baneling drop did in fact come in. Yeah, 9 SCVs do go down, and well, uThermal, the reason he was able to take that trade so well is that his 1-1 was done, and Combat Shields was not. That is part of the reason why they... Oh no! The self-bind drag! Oh, not like this.
Yeah, this is still looking pretty good for uThermal. He's up in workers. His 2-2 is considerably ahead of that of his opponent. He's getting his second factory for Widow Mines. uThermal is in as good a position as he was in game 1, I would say. Maybe even slightly better. And he's on a map which I think he can feel more comfortable in, as you said. Oh my god, just to jinx it like that, though, the Banelings find those hits that they so desperately needed.
I still feel like uThermal has a lot of room to play here. He has an upgrade timing lead with his 2-2. It is 1-1 versus 1-1 now. Reynor did manage to get that up and rolling. Baneling drop coming in once again. uThermal, quick response time though, is going to be able to deal with this, but this takes the pressure off of Reynor for a little bit, and it will allow him to build 12 additional drones. Wow, that is a lot of drones coming in right here. Scout coming through the main base, and is going to see the second factory here.
Nice contaminator there as well. Oh, goodbye. That's a lot of damage, like a lot, especially when you consider, as you said, Reynor just made another big round of drones, putting him now up quite high. He is losing a few once again. uThermal able to trade blows here with a young Italian stud and fight some pretty good fights. But actually, what's the Baneling count at right now? There's hardly any on the field, and uThermal has so much. If he can target fire here, he would be able to take this. Widowmine goes off a lot into the Queens. Baneling's now charging forward. Can uThermal micro well? There is still creep behind him. Forced to lift off.
That was almost a disaster for both players. uThermal does manage to load up into the medevacs. Reynor almost took a massive game-ending Widowmine shot, but he will continue to hold on for the moment. But 2-2 is looming, and that is uThermal's big timing that he's looking for right now to try and take out a base or get a lot of damage done once again.
Oh, Widowmine catching a few lings once again, just thinning out any of those potential run-bys that Reynor is so adept at. He's just never, ever stops with his own aggression. It's what really separates a great player from a world-class player. Nice pre-spreads, sorry, by uThermal. Again, he's got a lot on the map here. The Baneling count is at 11, which is decent, but uThermal has that 2-2. He's going to be forced to lift up there.
Man, this was looking very, very rough supply-wise a little bit ago. uThermal does still have a 20 army supply lead, but it is a lot closer than it was, you know, not before those drones basically got made. And Reynor kind of survives a little bit of a period of vulnerability as 2-2 is finishing up now. He is still in a dangerous spot here. Overseer does get taken out. There's a massive concave of Queens. Oh, nice split right there from Reynor. Still loses 2 Banelings, but not the end of the world. Meanwhile, Baneling getting 23 drones or SCVs once again, and a command center. Not going to get canceled. Will finish on up. Good job from uThermal to immediately lift that, actually.
Get it. I do not understand how Reynor constantly finds these. And it's not uThermal playing badly or sloppily. It's just so hard to have the level of multitasking that these young superstars, Clem, Sarah, Reynor, demand. Now, this is finally going to be cleaned up. But, I mean, at this point, Reynor's drone count isn't incredible by any means. But uThermal has so few SCVs. He's trying to produce 3 at a time. Both players have kind of reset just a little and want to sit back for a while. The Baneling count is great. It's going to be up in the mid-20s. uThermal has a strong army. He has not started 3-3, though, Steadfast. And what that means is time not massively on his side. Another run by. It's going to find so much damage again. He's so slippery.
He really is. And the Marines actually stepping very far forward onto creep. Baneling shots, well, they get hit by some Widowmines, but still do what they need to. And that last Baneling getting right on top of the Marines. And that is going to be too much